Tim is on the line in Farmington, Michigan. Tim, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on?
So I've been pondering this question lately, and I'm really glad you're going over this on the show today. So I just graduated college, and I currently work as a professional gambler, self-employed. My current income is $10,000 to $20,000 per month.
Okay, pause, time out. This is fascinating to me. What do you mean professional gambler specifically? I understand what a professional gambler is, but what are we talking about? Horses, poker?
So I have a stats background from college, and I gamble on sports.
And that's all you do?
Yes.
And you're averaging $10,000 to $20,000 a month?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
So this is not a very long-lasting career because eventually you do get limited by a sports book.
Yeah.
So,
not to mention it's ridiculously risky.
Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Though I've been in the field now for 6 months, it's been going very well. Though being just out of college, I feel like I do have to build a resume in a real career per se, because once this does run out,
hey, dude.
just
all right, time
gambler on
out.
my resume will
Tim.
not look good.
I'm trying to be really nice and listen, and I want to help you. But let's just establish one other thing. This isn't a career field, and you're not self-employed. You're gambling, and you're in a 6-month run right now. The way you're framing this is ridiculous, and I'm your friend. But you're framing this like, well, I've been in the field for 6 months. No, you're not in the field. You're gambling. You're on a good run for 6 months. Dude, I've got friends who do this because they're very wealthy. So it's not their career. It's not their livelihood. And these dudes are like, man, I'm going to tell you something. I can get on a hot streak, and then I lose everything I bet on. So, brother, let's reframe this conversation. We'll spend the rest of our time trying to help you figure out what it is you really want to do. But this is not a career field, and you are not self-employed. Okay?
Okay.
You're playing with fire, dude, and you know it. So now, how can I help you?
So being that I've been doing this for the last couple months, I feel like I do have to find a career. And one thing I'm looking for in a career is a company that has good, strong values and works internationally with room to grow and a way to really build my resume and build myself in the trade.
Which trade?
I always dreamed of being an international salesman.
Oh, good.
Traveling abroad, meeting with manufacturers. But I've really struggled to find out how to get into that field.
Well, wait a second. So let's slow down from I want to eventually be in international sales. So let's call that the top of the mountain. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let's not overthink this. The most simple way for you to get to a point where you can travel around the world and sell big things. Okay, because you're not traveling around the world to sell shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the way to do that is just to become a really good salesperson. And you could start selling cars. You could start selling clothes. You could start selling shoes, for that matter. You could start selling insurance. You could sell anything. I would become a really good salesperson. And quite honestly, while I think we can be a bit more strategic than this, I want to make sure you understand the best way to get there is to become really good at selling something way down the line, and then begin to move from one particular area of sales and try to move your way into more specific, to where you're in an industry selling something that will allow for international sales. So if you start to think about, well, how in the world do I get, it's intimidating when you think about the globe. What you got to think about are what are the products and services, and I'm guessing it's heavier on the product side, but maybe it's service oriented as well. But anytime you're selling anything, it's products and services. So what are the products and services that are very internationally robust? And I'd be looking at that and then go, okay, now that I kind of know that, how would I begin to ease my way into that? So, you're in Farmington, Michigan. Is that a suburb of Detroit?
Yes.
Okay. So what are the biggest ticket items that potentially have an international connection or international business just in the Detroit area? Let's just put you to the test.
Automobiles.
There you go. So one would want to get into automotive sales or work for Ford or one of the big three or Chevy or whatever they're selling something within the big company. So how would you get in there and work your way up? And then you get a point where you go, well, that we know they're selling things internationally and we know they're selling vehicles.
A question regarding that.
Yeah.
As a college graduate, would you recommend taking an entry-level career there, or should I be shooting a little bit higher having a degree?
Well, why not both? I mean, you want to eventually get into international business, international sales. So if you can get in a little bit higher than entry level because of your college degree, which is what? What's your degree in?
Statistics.
Yeah, not a bad idea to get in the company based on statistics, and because they think you're a number cruncher, which you are. But then when they realize that you've got some sales ability and you've got some personality and some communication skills, and I'm assuming that's the case with you.
I like to think so.
Okay, good. So my point is that, yeah, you get in with statistics, and then you start, once you're in the company you're in, then you start getting really strategic in the hallway, in the cafeteria, lunchtime. And and you start talking with people that are in the international side of the business, and then you want to eventually work your way over there, and maybe you go do statistics over there for a while. Then you get into where you're really into more of a sales or something like that. So yes, I think I'd go both routes. I would be willing as a gambler. Good grief, man.
Yeah.
The good news about what you're doing is you got guts.
I don't like to call myself a gambler too, because I do try to take a more mathematical.
I know.
Mathematical approach to it.
I think you do. And listen, I'm not questioning your ability as a gambler. I'm not questioning that. You're a stats guy. You're playing the numbers, and you're doing a darn good job of it. But it doesn't remove the risk. All right. Yeah. And so my point is this. My point is you got guts, and so I'd go for something a little higher up the ladder. But at the same time, you're young, and if you got to get entry level into one of those big three automotive places there, yeah, do that. But I love this journey. I love this. So it doesn't have to be cars, but that's one example that I gave you. So we've played out the teaching. We've played out the practicality of my answer. You want to be an international business? You better start working for a business that's got international business, right? And you work your way up.